Welcome back to this week's Conversations with Marléne and Pascale. This week, we are having a think about past lives. So we're going to be having a think about, do we believe in past lives? And if so, what is the meaning of it all? So let's just do a quick introduction. My name is Pascale Lane. I'm a therapeutic confidence and success coach, and I help successful coaches to have successful relationships.
And I'm Marléne Rose Shaw, therapist and coach and self-help author, and I help people have great relationships and feel confident in themselves, set good boundaries, and communicate with courage.
Excellent. Love it. Great. Okay. So we're talking about something really completely different. Well, completely too different. We love a bit of woo, don't we? We always like to bring in a bit of woo.
Yeah.
Past lives. I was having, like I said to you earlier this morning off camera, I was having this conversation with a friend yesterday about past lives. I love a bit of past life stuff personally. And we were talking about a book that we've both read. Actually, I listened to it. Many Lives, Many Masters, which if anybody is interested in past life stuff and wants to kind of know a lot more about it, that is absolutely the book to listen to. It's absolutely fantastic. Many Lives, Many Masters. Who was the author, Marléne?
Brian Weiss, and he was a psychotherapist or psychoanalyst of some sort, and he was working with a patient who was experiencing quite a lot of trauma. And I can't remember the exact story, but basically he decided to take her into some sort of hypnosis or something, thinking that he would discover the trauma from when she was younger or something, and that it would then resolve it. And she actually went into a past life. And so he worked with her for a long period of time and other patients. And that was how he became interested and why he wrote the book. That there were a lot of things going on in past lives.
Because she didn't have the progress that he thought that she was going to have. And he was like, like, we've done like 20 sessions now. Why isn't, like, we've uncovered what's going on. There must be something else to uncover here. And he tried hypnosis. Just amazing book. Amazing book. So, well, it seems silly then to then start by asking you if you believe in past lives, but what's your take on past lives?
I believe that we have numerous lives, past, present, and future. You know, I believe that we just keep coming back. I find it quite comforting to think that, because as I get older, I sometimes think, gosh, I haven't got enough time to do all those things I want to do. And then I thought, well, that's all right, I'll do it in the next life. So I've kind of I'm going to be a therapist again for a few more, because I love being a therapist. And then a few lives down the line, I'd love to be a pilot, fly planes, and I want to be an architect. So I've already booked that. Thanks, universe.
Okay.
For the past, I do believe in past lives, because I believe in having many lives. I don't particularly believe. Some people believe that we have to make up for wrongdoings in our past lives. That if we've done something wrong, we have to sort of pay the penance now. And I don't believe in that. But I do believe that we can maybe experience trauma based on an event that has happened in another life, because to me, that's an energetic thing. What's your thoughts?
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm not big on paying penance. I'm not. I don't see it in that regard. I do consider. I don't consider to know for sure anything, but I do consider that each lifetime we are learning and evolving. And then in learning and evolving, we then kind of go on to our next lesson. So I see it more as kind of a learning journey, if you like, opportunities to grow spiritually. And each lifetime kind of brings us. I'll tell you what, I wasn't going to share this. I wasn't even thinking about this at all, but I'll share it because it's really relevant. So I was doing my morning walk on the beach last week, and I was thinking about patience. And I struggle with patience massively. Like, I'm a really impatient person. And I was thinking, like, you know, when like you've got two things and you know these two things separately, but at no point have you ever joined the dots and connected them together. Yeah. So this was me with patience, right? And I've always said, like, I'm very like, I'm not ashamed of being impatient. I don't see it as it's not a criticism of myself. It's just a fact. I'm just impatient. And then I was thinking as I was walking along about all of the people in my life, or all of the things that have happened in my life that are excellent tests of my patience. And and it's funny because a lot of my friends would say to me, well, I think you're a really patient person. Like, a lot of my close friends consider me to be very, very patient and very tolerant, and yet I don't. And I just had this, it was almost like an epiphany where I just thought, maybe, and I don't know, but maybe my lesson in this lifetime is patience, because it's something that I feel I struggle the most with. And yet there are so many things in my life throughout my lifetime which have tested my patience or caused me to practice my patience. And I just, was just musing about it the other day, thinking, I wonder if that is one of this life's lessons for me, is around patience, because it's a real recurring, and not just like a recurring thing since like the last couple of years, like something that I have been very aware of throughout my life.
That's interesting, isn't it? So do you think that we become wiser with each life, or do you think it's just different lessons?
I think we become wiser. I think we, yeah, because what's that lovely what's that lovely meme? I never know whether these memes are real when they're by all the, like, the Buddhas and the gurus, but like, knowledge is knowing the answers and wisdom is understanding them, or something. Like, there's something about kind of embodying the answers rather than just knowing them. So like, I think wisdom, becoming wiser, yeah, I think there's a lot to be. And like, when I look at like certain children, like I look at like one of my children in particular, and actually, funny enough, I was talking to my mum on the weekend, and I said, we were talking about my eldest, and I said, she's just such an old soul, mum. She's just such an old soul. And mum, my mum was very spiritual as well. She was like, oh God, absolutely, she's had many lifetimes. And I just feel, and it's not, it's neither a compliment nor a criticism to either of my children, but I think it just plays into this conversation where it is about wisdom for me. It is about that kind of, there's a knowing that goes on in certain people, which is fascinating, especially when I see it in young children. it's fascinating to see that level of kind of, sorry, I'm digressing completely, but that level of awareness, of empathy, of kind of feeling that you think, God, where did that come from? Like, where did you get that from? You know, is that in the genes, or is that something else? And I really do think, especially with her, I think, wow, there's a real knowing to you, which as your mother, I take great pride in, but I can't take the credit for, you know?
There most definitely is. And I wonder if people who get called to do the type of work that we do have had many lives in order to get to where we are. Does that sound pretentious, I wonder? It doesn't. It's not meant in a pretentious way. It's a sort of that sense of knowing that you describe. You know, there's something of just sort of intuition or something that,
Yeah, I mean, God,
where it comes from.
There's a level of and I mean this compassionately, right? I mean this with utter compassion and love. I think there is an element of pretentiousness when spiritual people claim to be spiritual. I just think there is, because it's just like, I have an intuition, I have a knowing, I have a feeling, I have a sense that there is so much more. And I think when we are speaking to each other and we understand it and we know it, it's not in the least bit pretentious, because we know what we mean. But I think maybe to other people who might not be that way inclined, no judgment on that, no better, no worse, no nothing. Like, everybody has their own point of view, and that is absolutely fine. But maybe to other people it would seem a little bit weird. But I don't think it's weird, and I definitely don't think it's pretentious. I think it's like, I do sometimes hear some people speak and I'm a bit like, oh, well, that's a bold claim. What gives you the right? And then I think, no, that's completely cool. Like, that's completely fine that they think that and they believe that. And actually, when I kind of like, when I question my own kind of like thought process, it's like, no, I there's an element maybe of like envy, that they feel so aligned and so comfortable with sharing their views in the way that they do, you know.
Yeah, a bigger picture viewpoint. And I'm, you know, one thing when you think about past lives that really fascinates me, and it's something I've experienced greatly, is meeting the same people. There are people in my life that I absolutely know. There's a group of us, actually, that there are people I've met from different countries. I've met them online. I've met them in countries offline who know somebody that I know. And, you know, there's sort of this circle of people in my life that they're all connected in some way. And not just like Facebook friends, obviously they're going to meet each other, but you know, this person I know from Australia is best friends with this person in Spain, who happens to be friends with my friend who's from South Africa. And it's weird, but there's this sense of, well, we've all connected before. You know, it feels very much like we're just sort of meant to meet up again along the way. What do you think about that? Have you had that experience?
Yeah, definitely. Meeting somebody for the first time and feeling like you've known them forever, or even just like looking into the eyes of someone and just like having a connection which is like almost kind of indescribable, you know. Like, yeah, definitely, and also like, sometimes people aren't, like, it's not always a happy ever after. Like sometimes those meetings are, oh, we're coming back to it now actually, which is interesting. Sometimes those meetings are there to teach you a lesson, like a life lesson, rather than it being a happy ever after. We're soul connected and we're going to be best friends forever or lovers forever, but actually just about being that we have a soul contract together. And like, you don't know what that's going to look like, but there is a meaning in that crossing paths again, which you don't always know the answer to.
And actually, at the beginning of this conversation, I was saying that I don't particularly believe that we are here to pay penance to some mistake from the past, or but maybe we do come across the same people or the same difficult, challenging situations in order that we can learn from that. Which is what you're saying.
I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It feels to me like universe wants to evolve. That's the bit it feels to me, and maybe that's the bit that sounds pretentious. I don't know, I can't help it, it's just what I feel. But it feels to me like universe wants to evolve, and we are the experiential beings of universe, so we are constantly being put in situations where challenges and situations where we can learn and evolve.
Yeah, and if you think about you hear people talking a lot about higher self. Then what is that higher self if it's not a more learned, more wise? That's terrible grammar, but a wiser version, all knowing, all being version of you. When if we get messages from our higher self, like what is that? Like that's a rhetorical question, because we can't. Well, I personally don't think we have the answers to that yet. We're talking about different realms. We're talking about different. We're talking about 5D. We're talking about something completely. But actually, if we take it in its most simplistic form of the higher self being a different realm, being the 5D version, then that is an all knowing, all wiser, all gifted, intuitive. That's where it is, right? And so then every lifetime is how we're climbing up to get to there, and that comes with experience and knowledge.
There's so much we could talk about. We could delve into.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Okay, so let's bring it then. Let's bring it to, what does that mean for us now? What does that mean to us, Marléne? What does that mean to our clients? What does that mean to people like listening back to this now? What are we doing with this? What do we do with it?
With the idea of past lives. I think for me, it's about keeping an open mind, and ultimately what's happened in the past, what happens now, what happens in the future. The most important thing is that we are kind to ourselves and we're kind to each other, that we're open to any lessons that are being presented to us, and that we focus on evolving and being happy, whether it's 10 lives ago or tomorrow.
Yeah, I like that. I was listening to an incredible book over the summer, Radley Valentine, absolutely amazing book. And he had a really amazing take on it, which gave me loads of comfort. Actually, it was a really comforting thing. Not it doesn't give anybody an excuse to behave badly or behave wrong. But what he was saying in there was, and again, I paraphrase, that there is no real wrong. Like, you can't do anything. Well, first of all, you've always got your guardian angels with you, right? Your guardian angels and your spirit guides are with you all the time. But there is no wrongdoing, because everything is already part of your tapestry. It's already part of your journey. So everything that you do is just a lesson. Everything that you do is just an opportunity to learn and grow. And you will make right decisions and you will make wrong decisions. And so what I took from that was, yeah, be kind, right? Don't be an asshole, right? I hope that's a given. But also, don't beat yourself up for things that you've done in the past. Don't lie awake at night tormenting yourself at things that you could have done better or could have done differently, because actually everything that you have done has led you to where you are now, and where you are now is exactly where you're meant to be.
Absolutely.
And I just love that.
Acceptance.
Yeah. Great.
Okay. So for anybody who's listening, if you want to get in touch with Pascale or I, the contact details are in the comments.
We don't do past life regression.
We don't do past life regression.
But we will happily talk to you about it if that's helpful to you.
Absolutely. I kind of do a little bit in my work, actually, because I do matrix work where I take people back to their former experiences in this life, but sometimes people do want to go back to other lives as well. So
okay,
it's not something I specifically do. I don't specifically, it's just something that comes up.
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
Well, bye-bye for now.
Always a pleasure, Marléne. See you next time.